Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good evening. We're all happy here. We've got Hayden. So I guess just quickly, it's Liz, Reiki Soul Goddess, Healy, Healy with Harmonizer, and we've got Hayden Crawford.
I've got my lovely essence sprays with me as well, some of them. So let's maybe spray. We can spray a bit of green angel around us all. Should we do that? Because they transcend time, space, reality. Excuse me. That wasn't the essence. So it's just.
Hey, Adam.
This is a space clearing mist. Actually, it has got some back in my throat.
I'm going to give a little dong on my sound bowl.
We've got Catherine. We have Jolene. Adam's saying, "Hola, chicas." Have to say, Hayden helped me realise my OCD was not a disorder, but a fancy for numbers. I now see it as a blessing rather than a curse. Thank you, Hayden, for that perspective shift. And thank you, ladies, for being amazing. Much love to you all. Mwah. Love you, Adam.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Love you, Adam.
Yeah. So we've got Hayden Crawford. He's a wellness coach, a spiritual teacher, a colour therapist, a numerologist, a Reiki healer, and he also provides some pretty cool activating meditations on his YouTube. And also, if you're new to the whole starseed journey, jump on there, because for every single galactic race, he's got information, and you've got one for every single one, don't you? Pleiades, Orions, Arcturians, Sirians, and I guess what's good about these YouTubes is it's like, 10 signs whether you're an Orion, or 7 signs whether you're a Pleiadian, that kind of thing. So it's good if you've just embarked on your starseed journey. I remember it really helped me, and it was like, yes, I'm definitely an Orion. He also is the founder of Dreemtime Academy. And at this academy, it's all about unlocking your full potential. And there's quite a number of courses. There's a lot of free material as well, and ebooks. And what I did personally with Hayden a while back was let's see if I remember this right, it was a starseed numerology report. And it gave me some really valuable insights into who I am as a person, and also the colours that would benefit me in the here and now, and also my starseed origin. So it was pretty cool. So I'm going to launch off into a quick question, which is, tell us, Hayden, at what age did you realise you were a starseed?
It actually happened really late on for me. So it was only a few years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. I'd had my midlife awakening. So I'd left the corporate world behind, and I'd moved down to the southwest to follow, the inner guidance that I was getting to work with colour, but I didn't really know what it meant. So I thought it meant that they were getting me to work to become a painter. So I put an exhibition together, and nobody bought my paintings, and even I didn't like them. Actually, they were pretty poor. So I was going through this phase of being really unsettled, and I couldn't sleep, and I had the dodgiest bedroom that you can ever possibly imagine. It was like really bad energy in it. It was a new house, but the bedroom was a bit sinister. And I was lying there one night, and I was really conscious that something was going on, and I just remember asking. I don't even know why I asked the question, but I said, well, like, where am I from, And I wasn't even expecting to get an answer, but I heard it. Well, it wasn't even like hearing it, but it was the word Andromeda came through.
So
you know, this was like, as I said, 3 years ago, and it was like, I don't even know what that word is. I thought it was something from Doctor Who or Star Wars or something like that. So I tried to keep hold of the word for the rest of the night, you know, like in a semi-lucid state. And the next morning, all I did was jumped onto Google, you know, fabulous Google. It always gives you the results that you want. And I just put in Andromeda and I started researching if there was any information out there about Andromeda. And I found out it was a star constellation 22 million light years away from Earth. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then I started putting two and two together and researching the traits of the Andromedan starseeds. And it was exactly what I was doing, because I'd already started the Dreemtime Academy at that point. And I was helping mainly wise women at that stage, you know, to rediscover their inner wisdom so that they could live a life with more freedom, joy, and purpose. And it was like, oh my God, this is it. It's all about self-love. It's all about freedom. And it's all about self-confidence, you know. So it was all of those things. And the penny just dropped. And I felt the truth in my heart. You know, it was like a real awakening to it being not just a theory, to it being something that was very real. Because I didn't know anything about starseeds, really, apart from a little video that my sister had sent through to me about a year or two before. And I dismissed it as being complete garbage. You know, it's like, what the hell? You know, what is she on? Because my sisters could be a bit woo-woo sometimes. So yeah, recently, it didn't happen when I was a kid or anything.
When did you start numerology? Like, did that just come before? Like you realized you're a starseed?
Yeah, it did. So I started learning numerology a couple of years prior to that, and it was actually I read quite a few books about all sorts of different numerology. So Pythagorean, which is the one that I teach, Chaldean, Egyptian, all of them really, and tried to figure out the one that most resonated with me. And of course, Pythagorean, I found it quite easy because it was a simple grid system, and the truth of the numbers was a lot more directed at my personality blueprint. So like, I'm a ruling number 9 with a day number 7. So, you know, the 9s are the healers, the counselors, and the 7s are the spiritual teachers. So it's like, it's all of that, all in, you know, in my main 2 numbers from my birth chart. So I kind of adopted that. It's not to say that other forms of numerology aren't as valuable. It was just I kind of took to that form more. And then when I found the color mirrors, because it's a numerology based color therapy system that I work with, it enhanced my wisdom of numerology to the next level, because it introduced another concept of light language, which is, you know, the vibrational influences of color, you know. So it was incredible how it amplified my awareness of everything, really, and especially my multi-dimensional aspects of being.
Because color,
leveling up.
because color's Atlantean. It's also ancient Atlantean healing techniques.
Yeah,
so
it is. It's interesting because the system that I work with dates back to times of Atlantis, but we all know who seeded the Atlanteans, who were, you know, the Lemurians and the Atlanteans were the first civilizations of mankind on the planet. And it was, of course, the Syrians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians. They all kind of put it all together and created them. So the wisdom that is within the colored mirrors, it's actually, it comes from Atlantis, but it comes from before then as well, because it is literally just light. It's just frequencies of light. So it's a multi-dimensional color therapy system, I guess you would call it. And so it but also numbers as well, they're the same. So if you think about Pythagoras, he just adopted the wisdom from Atlantis as well, because the survivors of Atlantis went to ancient Egypt and they used the number 36 in the construction of their pyramids, which is 6 times 6, which is 36. It's creation times creation, and it's actually used within the pyramids as a way of being able to predict what 9-year cycles are coming up for you in your peak years of maturity. So it's all connected to the stars.
Yeah. I've always been interested in astrology from a really young age, and then discovered numerology later. And I bought a book. You know, wasn't an expert to your level, but I sort of could do readings on friends and family. And I was that annoying friend that, you know, if I was hanging out with people, I'd be like, "What's your birthday?" Right, I'm working you out, and doing all that for people. So yeah, I find it fascinating too. And I've also got some Andromedan lifetimes and Arcturian as well. So that's probably why.
That's probably why we all connect, isn't it? Because we're all part of the same soul sort of group family and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course. So, in a nutshell, I mean, color therapy dates back to, you know, times of the healing temples of Heliopolis of color and light in ancient Egypt, but also Greece and China, you know, so it's been around since the year dot, and color therapy comes about in numerous different forms. So it could be through crystals, you know, like in ancient Egypt they used to use lapis lazuli and other crystals as well. It can be as tinctures, you know, in flower essences, for example, or colored light therapy, or in elixirs like the color mirrors, you know. So the color mirrors are a sequence of, you know, dual colored oil bottles of different color resonances, and also essence sprays as well. So it's kind of water that's been infused with color frequencies, but also other vibrations such as Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian prayer ritual. So and crystal frequencies, and you know, and it's based around Dr. Masuro Emoto's experiments with water. Whereas when we channel love and light into anything liquid, it changes the crystalline structure, so they become like elaborate snowflakes. And if you channel hate into them, they go all clumpy and horrible. So you know, the color therapy really is easily adapted into any wellness practice or just for personal development, really. And it's based around the language of light. So it's, you know, it's around the theories of color having its each unique wavelength and frequency. And depending on what that is, it will help people to identify blocked patterns, frozen emotions, limiting beliefs, you know, all sorts of things where people get stuck in their lives, because it actually mirrors back to them what's going on for them subconsciously. So it helps them become aware of what's keeping them stuck.
That's why they're color mirrors. Didn't I put it together before?
And even just looking at them, when you hold up a bottle, it's really activating. I can feel it working sort of within my energy body. I can feel the tingles, and I feel activated by it.
So there's liquid in there, right? So Hayden, there's liquid in there. So someone buys one of those. How do they use it?
Okay, so the dual colored oil bottles they're used as, and this is my favorite one actually. This is called Mars, and it's red over orange. It's beautiful. It's bottle number 9, so it's my ruling number bottle, and it's actually my favorite bottle in the set as well, which is just, you know, no coincidence, is it? So people would take the lid off, and then they would pour the remedy into their bath, and they would submerge their body, and the beautiful colored frequencies will go through the skin and into the cellular memory, and they'll clear and transmute the lie that's usually been held within the cell, and replace it with the truth, which is divine love. So it's very releasing. But each one of these remedies has a different emotional, psychological, mental, and physical outcome and experience. So you might go into a bath and have a bit of a daydream and just sit there for 2 hours, and you think, well, where did the time go? But you get all these soul memories coming back of, you know, maybe who you once were in a previous life, or you know, what you need to work on. So that's why it's always best to keep a journal next to the bath, so when you get out, you can write everything down. Or it could be something quite physical. Like I had a bath in the Unlimited Wealth bottle, which is violet and gold. So it's an ancient Egyptian color combination. It's like high initiations in ancient Egypt. And I nearly threw up in the bath. I literally was like that. Mind you, I think I'd had a McDonald's about half an hour before.
That's going to do it. McChucks. So, because like I forget the percentage. Yeah, I forget the percentage, but is it like, because our body's made up of 85% water?
Yeah, 80% water.
I'm guessing. you know, bath, water, conductor. Your body's made up of 85% water, so you're in the bath.
Yeah.
So that's probably how it all
It
transpires.
transfers, but also the
Yeah.
oil gets absorbed into the skin,
Yeah,
which is
because
your
the
body's
skin's
largest organ, and then it will go.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it just kind of it ingratiates. So the energy of the frequency of the bottle goes into your physical body. So it helps your body feel safe as your soul takes you where it wants you to go. Now, the essence sprays are slightly different. Now, just bearing in mind, you know, we use complementary colors in color therapy as well to get results quick. So for what I mean by that is like orange and blue are complementary colors. So they're opposite colors. Okay. So they're exactly opposite on the color wheel. So an orange related issue would be something like shock, trauma, and abuse as a negative aspect, but as a positive aspect, it would be bliss and enlightenment. So each color, it's like the numbers, they carry both positive and negative connotations. So if someone's got shock, trauma, and abuse, they'll use blue to be their antidote, as well as, because it also works like homeopathy as a like treats like basis. So you can use the orange for the shock and trauma, but you can use the blue as well. So, and we know that when people have got shock and trauma, they need to communicate, and blue is all about communication. So they seek counseling often. So that's why blue becomes a really good antidote for orange. And if it was red and green, for example, red and green are opposites. So the red anger, green space is the antidote. So it's about getting space from the situation so that you can diffuse the anger, kind of thing. So it works like that across all of them.
Isn't it?
So it sort of
works. It makes perfect sense.
But also, yeah, but it diffuses as well. And I was just thinking about the oils. You could you use them within a massage, like mix them, blend them in with the oil, and then they could be transferred that way. And maybe the person giving the massage as well adds that extra little something in as well.
And they benefit from it too. So it's a bit like Reiki, you know, where the client and the practitioner benefit from the treatment.
Yeah.
I have had several clients go to kahuna massage therapists that are doing lomi lomi, and that sort of beautiful kind of like energy type of massage instead of like your traditional remedial or something. And it works really well with those. And some incredible results. So yeah, if they haven't got a bath, they can always, like I've got one lady who lives in Germany, and she lives with a cerebral palsy, and she pours them into her foot bath and absorbs it up through the soles of her feet. So you can put them on your bedside table. You know, you don't have to bathe in them, although it is recommended. And we'd normally say or recommend that people bathe with them either in one bath to get a really good result, or over a 3-week period, you know, so they can pour bits in and work with it like that.
So depending on whether you want like a fully immersive, transformative experience, have the whole bottle in one go, in one bath, or if you want to keep that consistent and be a little bit more taking baby steps with it, you could just do it every day, but keep that consistency.
Exactly, you know, that's exactly it, you know. And it's also, it's not, I don't diagnose, so I can't prescribe which color mirror is right for you. You know what's right for you. So we hand the power back to the client in color mirrors. So it's like, okay, so, you know, intuitively, which bottle most represents, you know, where you're at in your life right now, or where you want to be, or what's blocking you. And then they have the choice from the bottles they've selected in a dynamic reading environment as to, you know, as to what's going to shift the problem. But the sessions are designed to bring awareness into the dilemma, you know, so that it can then be released through the.
So it's not just empowering; it's helping people connect into their essence, helping with their own inner knowing. You know, it's helping on a multi-dimensional level.
It is. Totally.
I just love color.
Exactly that.
Color, frequency, light language. I mean, if it was me, I would just get like 3 bottles and just have like this cocktail experience all at once. Boom.
That's a great way to do it. And you know what, they do that, like quite a lot of people do. They're called cocktails. So because this system is, you know, it was developed in 2001 by a lady called Melissa Jolly, and she lives in South Africa, and her daughter Julie, they make the remedies. And You know,
Wow.
so they basically are the color alchemists. So it's their, you know, it's their color therapy system. It was channeled through. And a lot of the color mirrors family, it's a global phenomenon really now. So it's in England, it's in America, it's in Europe, it's in Canada, and now Australia. So myself and my husband Mark, we brought the system into Australia because we were just so in love with it. We were like, oh, Australia's got to, you know, to work with this, and we're training practitioners in how to become color mirrors practitioners now as well. So, but it's like the whole family, you know, the color mirrors family, they have unique and different ways of using the products, and they will, you know, they will do these cocktail experiences where they'll mix maybe 2 or 3 bottles together. I know it's an expensive bath, but you know, aren't you worth it?
Absolutely.
Give you a massive
Absolutely.
shift, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Before
that was
we-
shift you said there, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Before we get to doing some readings, I just have another quick question. Actually, Ali, do you have any more questions? I'm just hogging all this.
Wow. Yeah, a few, but you know, it's fine. Just carry on, Liz. Go on.
Don't have an argument now. Come on.
Don't have an argument. Come
Calm
on.
down, Michelle. Calm it down.
So
I was just going to ask at some point before or after Liz's question, could you tell us some stories about you know, different experiences or different bottles and kind of the sort of experience you could have with them? Because you mentioned one before when we spoke about Resigina, or you know, something like that.
Rexigina, yeah.
Rexigina. I'll grab her. Hang on a second.
Okay, fab.
Okay, so this is Rexigina. Now, Rexigina isn't part of the color mirrors system, okay? Because the color mirrors system comprises of 87 different dual colored oil bottles and about 50 or 60 different essence sprays. But this one, when you're a practitioner or a teacher of the color mirrors, you can design your own bottles. And this one was formulated after a conversation that I had with a really amazing lady called Valerie Barrow, who is otherwise known as Andromeda Val. You'd love her, Ali.
Yes.
You know, she's like a beautiful, like, you know, a mature lady who channels Andromeda Val through cosmic Sai Baba. So this one is really beautiful, solid gold over emerald green. And basically she works with cosmic Sai Baba, and he gave her a ring because he's now crossed. And it was a gold and emerald ring, and it was a magic ring. And the colors inspired the bottle combination that I created, but it's called Rexigina because she's written a book called Ulcharinga, which also means Dreamtime, and it's about a factual event, you know, that took place many thousands of years ago, where a light vehicle, a spaceship, you know, it was like a Merkaba spaceship from the Pleiades. It came in with 50,000 souls on it, and to illuminate this part of the universe, because obviously it's very dark in, you know, where the Earth is. There isn't much light, and they wanted to bring awareness and love to the planet. But unfortunately, when it arrived, it was infiltrated by the reptilian draconian race that were here, and it exploded before it as it entered the atmosphere, and it broke up into thousands of pieces and landed somewhere in Eastern Europe. And the pieces became moldavite, which is that beautiful kind of like green crystal, the extraterrestrial crystal. Mm-hmm. It's like it obviously heated up so much.
Love
and
this
then
story.
It kind of created that.
Yeah.
And there was only a few survivors, you know, so the Valerie Barrow was guided into meeting several people along her journey after this awareness came to her, that all had soul memories of being on board the Rexigina, you know. So this group formulated, and they went and rediscovered certain ancient sites together and pieced together more of the jigsaw puzzle.
Wow, talk about life-changing.
Fabulous.
Wow.
I need to get some moldavite, Liz.
Oh yeah, moldavite. I just love moldavite. I've got some big pieces, and yeah, the connection like with, you know, extraterrestrials is just guaranteed with moldavite.
But I never knew that, what you've just shared, so that explains so much, and obviously the Palladian connection that I'm sure we all have as well. with our star family. What was your question, Liz?
I wanted to know a little bit about young Hayden. So when you were a kid, did you get visitations? Like, did you have lucid dreams? Like, were you spiritually aware then?
Yeah, I've always been different, you know, like I say different like that, but I remember as a kid I used to go running up to old nanas in the supermarket and kiss the back of their hands because I used to always be attracted to old women. And my gran was a big influence in my life, and you know, she was very into astrology, and she used to cut tarot cards out of magazines and teach me the meanings of them, and she always said I was the king of hearts, sorry, the jack of hearts. And yeah, so my mum also, you know, is being born on the 22nd, like you, Ali, you know, she's got the 22 energy, which is the master number, and it's about the master builder. So it's a very intuitive, empathic birthday number.
Mm-hmm.
And so my influences were always very feminine in my life. I had a sister. My dad was present, but he wasn't sort of, you know, a big influence as I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very female, and I always felt like I was like not part of what else was going on. You know, I always felt like the outsider. And so it started happening for me really when I was, well, my first one was when I was 16. And I basically woke up in the middle of the night and I had his face looking down at me, and it scared me a lot, because I really I'd never seen anything like it before, and it was very real, and I knew I wasn't asleep. And then the next time that happened wasn't until my early 30s, and I was in Egypt. I was in Sharm el Sheikh with my husband, and I woke up about 5 minutes after falling asleep. It was New Year, and that face was back again, but I think it was slightly different. So, wow. You know, I've seen saucers in the sky, and my grandfather was a member of Bufora, which is the British UFO Research Association or something like that. And so he used to tell us stories when we were kids of the cigar-shaped objects and the saucer-shaped objects that he'd seen in the sky. So it's always been in my family.
Wow.
But also the weirdest thing was, I only recently found out as well that my grandfather, both on my mum's side and my dad's side, so my dad's dad and my mum's dad, were part of the Freemasons as well. So, you know, that freaked me out when I found out, because he was called Harry Crawford, my grandfather, and it was my cousin that sent me. She said, "Oh, do you want me to send this through?" And it was one of those like the stars, you know, that they get given as a medal for their achievements within the Freemasons. And I said, "I don't want it," because it freaked me out. I just thought, because I've always associated with Freemasons with like a bit of a dark kind of association.
Yeah, possibly. But that could be why you were born into that family line, to transmute and clear that for all of us. Sorry, I jumped in.
Yeah. Because, you know, it's like I spoke to Melissa about this, who you know, is the woman who put together the colour mirrors, and she said, look, not all Freemasons are bad, so don't worry, you know, they play a good part in the world as well. So, but it was just like, it was something I was totally unaware of. That literally was last year that I found that out.
Wow.
So that it's almost like the pieces of the puzzle still keep on.
They do, don't they? It's always another layer.
Yeah. "2020 was like big for all of us. Like, yeah, for me personally, it was like, you know, starseed journey and putting all the puzzle pieces together. Was it the same for you as well, Hayden? Like 2020 was a massive year.
Oh yeah, well, 2020 was known as the year of the starseed awakening. So if you think about 2020 in numerology, it reduces to a 4. Now the 4 in the color mirror system is Uranus, which is the planet of the future. So it's it's yellow over a really deep, sort of almost like a murky, sort of dark turquoise color. And this is about change and disruption of old order, but this is about letting go of old structures in your life. So look at what happened with the government. Look what happened with, you know, the banks, the travel industry, us all being shut down in our box in the 4, which is the square, in our homes. You know, so it was a huge year of a breaking down of old structures, but also the 20 in the color mirror system is actually called awakening. And
no way.
This is the bottom. Wow. Yeah, it's called awakening. So this is deep magenta over copper. So that's like bringing divine love to the earth. So that's what 2020 was all about,
Beautiful.
bringing. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know what? I reckon we do some readings, and I'm just going to quickly write a comment to everyone, because you just need to know people's date of births, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I start with doing Ali's?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so this is the way Ali's birth chart looks. So Ali was born on the 22nd of the 11th, 1973. Okay, so what that means is that Ali, you're a day number 22 over 4, which is what we just spoke about there. So that means the 2 is feminine and intuitive. So you're a very intuitive person, but also you've got a practical aspect to your nature as well, because the 22 becomes a 22 over 4. The 4 is the square, which is a doing person, you know. So it's like you've got the potential to build, as well as just, you know, spend all that time drifting off into the cosmos and all that. So it becomes a 22 over 4. And in the color mirrors system, bottle 22 is this one here, which is deep magenta over rose pink. So what that means is, like, this is about, you know, your soul. It's about guilt as well. So it's about forgiving yourself and recognizing that guilt is the biggest misunderstanding of all. It's about easing up on yourself, forgiving your creator, forgiving your parents. It's about going through that whole process as part of your soul's journey.
Yeah, that massively. That's spot on. Spot on.
But the other thing is, you know, that's only your second biggest influence. Your biggest influence is because you're a ruling number 8, which is also like the life path. The ruling number life path means the same thing. This is a bottle 8, and this is Saturn. So Saturn is old father time. So this is connected with you being very independent. You're very organized, and you like to be in control. Right? So that
is Ali. And a time traveler.
That's
the time bit, because we're both 8s, aren't we?
Oh, you're both 8s. Okay, so that's why you're like, no, you ask the question. No, you ask the question. No, you ask the question. Oh, shut up. I'm asking the question. It's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You got that right.
But it's like, I know what it's like. Look, my husband is a ruling 8 as well. So they like to be in control, but they're also very nurturing, you know, so they're very nurturing. So they often give more than they get back. But they're very process orientated as well, you know. So it's almost like, it's like single white female when you go to the food cupboard and all the tins are pointed around the front. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Listen,
I've got everything in its right color and its right place, and so OCD, it's not funny.
Yeah. It is. It's like an inherent love of processes, and that's why you make good money managers, but also you make good managers as well. But it's about recognizing that your future will be built on solid foundations. So you don't need to rush things. You're quite happy to wait for all the good stuff to manifest, you know? So it's that.
Awesome.
So that's your 8, and then your year cycle, which we get by adding the 22, the 11, and the current year, which is 2021. It reduces to a number 2. So that's really good for you to do your inner work. So the 2 is feminine. So it's about personal development. It's about meditation, going in and finding answers from within this year. Now, the other thing that we can get from your birth chart is you've got 2 arrows. You've got one positive one and one negative one. So these are called arrows of individuality. Now, the negative one is called the arrow of frustration. Now, this means you had difficulties during childhood. So it could have been your mum and dad separated, or there was sibling rivalry or ill health. Or feeling like you didn't fit in some way. But also, you know, this can manifest as issues within your adult relationships as well.
Right.
So this is a challenging vibration. It's called frustration for a reason. And the other one is called the arrow of the planner. So you've got an inherent love of order and processes, you know, so it's that. It's like you're a tick list person. So you like get up in the morning, go to the loo, go for a walk, have a shower, have some breakfast, maybe do some work, maybe not, probably not, and then watch TV and go to bed.
Do you know what? I'd say that bit you've just said is more like, I'm good at seeing the potential of how systems can be developed, and I'm good at creating methods and systems where there are none. But I'm just so like free and easy with my routine. It's probably because I'm Sagittarius as well, though. So it could be, but that also has a massive influence on how I could have been with that
And you've got a
influence.
day number 22 as well, you see. So that, but the 22 brings in a certain amount of organization as well. So you've got the organization in your aspects of the 4, although you don't have the 4 and you don't have the 8 there. This is more of an inherent love of order. So it's called the arrow of the planner. So you like to plan things out. I mean, I saw how
Yeah, maybe more long term and the way I do things. Yeah, but not my routine.
All right, we've got
this.
Thank you for that. What was the
Right.
7 then?
So that, right, the 7 is an interesting one, right? Because the 7 is about sacrifice, and when it's isolated, it's got no numbers around it. So what that means is that it's like a sacrifice in one of these 3 areas: love, health, or money. So one of those 3 areas will be like you'll either love and lose, love and lose, love and keep, until you learn the lesson about what it is that you need to do first, which is usually self-love. It might be that you make money, lose money, make money, lose money, or get ill, get well, get ill, get well. So the pattern will repeat itself until
all of those.
All of them,
sounds like Ellie.
God.
And what about the 9?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But also, are you quite a chatty person as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got 3 1s, you see. The 3 1 people, there's 2 very distinct types. You either get the ones that talk all the time, or the ones that don't say boo to a goose. And normally the ones that talk a lot are the ones where they've got plenty of numbers in their chart on the soul plane. And of course, both of your main numbers are on the soul plane, the 22 and also the 8. Okay, so that's why it usually manifests as the chatty one. It's almost like verbal diarrhea.
All right, we've got a few people that have dropped in their date of birth.
Oh, cool.
Now,
okay.
We've got Jolene, and her birth date is 19.
So Jolene is 19th of
the 4th.
Yeah.
1976.
76. Okay. And this is Jolene.
Jolene.
Okay.
Have you written them all down, Liz? Because they're moving.
I have. I've written them all down.
You've got Christina's and Adam's as
I've
well,
got
and Marie.
Christina, Adam, and Mariana.
Mariana.
But
1, 2, 2 9s. Oh.
Yes, Jolene. Yeah, that's very much me. Very true.
And Jolene's saying she's also curious about the I always say this.
The Hades.
The Hades.
Yeah.
Because she's saying, as you are the only one that know of that has been talked about. You're the only one that, yeah,
it's not something many people talk about, and you're aware of them, aren't you?
Yeah, well, Aldebaran is the eye of the bull. So the Hyades is in the star constellation Taurus, and Aldebaran is the eye of the bull. So it's a giant, it's like a big red dwarf, I think, so it's a huge, massive, it's like 22 times the diameter of our sun. And actually it sits at 33 degrees in Taurus, and the 33 is obviously it's about mastering love. So the Hyadians are all about love. They're these tall, white, compassionate lion beings that have got hands and legs, and they're humanoid, And the Hyades seems to follow the Pleiades through the night sky. So it's it's quite a significant place, but it's almost like a melting pot of like lots of different star races, because they kind of stop in the Hyades on their way to different places. So it's almost like quite cosmopolitan. It's a bit like Brighton in England, or Fremantle in Perth.
Fremantle in Perth. Sorry, that just made me laugh.
It's like Frio. Yeah, it's like down the market in Frio. So okay, so Jolene has got what's called the arrow of practicality. So this is the 1, 4, and 7. So what this means is that she's got, she loves the physical aspects of life. She likes the practical involvement in life. So she's actually, a lot of the time they're doing people. All right, so it's a lot of, she'll like the material aspects. She'll like to have the physical aspects. She'll be quite practical. She'll probably be able to put together a flat pack from IKEA really easily. Whereas if you got me to do it, I'd probably get the screwdriver the wrong way around. So she's one of those, so you just give her the flat pack stuff and she'll be away. Then we've also say she'll love it as well. She'll probably really love it. Now she's also got the arrow of hypersensitivity, which is the lack of all the numbers on her soul plane, the 2, 5, and the 8. That's that one there. So negative arrow. So she's got a weak soul protection, so she gets easily hurt. So this can tend to lean towards her isolating herself a little bit sometimes, or avoiding confrontation.
Right.
So you know, this is like being overly sensitive. Okay, but they can put on a bit of a prickly outer exterior. It's almost like the poker face, you know, to kind of self-preserve. That's how it can appear. Then also, you know, she's quite a creative person because she's got a 6 in her chart. 6 is about creativity, and the 4 as well, which means that a lot of the 4 people are good with their hands, so she can express her creativity through her hands. And then she's got this 2 9s as well, which is connected to her wisdom. 9, it doesn't matter what you do with the number 9, it never loses its integrity. So she's really wise. You know, if you think about it, like you go like 2 9s at 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. 3 9s are 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. So it doesn't matter what you do with it, it always carries that integrity. But she carries a great sense of responsibility. She's very idealistic. She looks at the world through rose-colored spectacles, and she's very ambitious as well. But she wants to help people. This is what she wants to do.
That is so Jolene.
But she's a day number 10, right? So the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. This is her second biggest influence. So it's gold over olive green. Now, this means she makes a good business owner. So she's actually quite an adaptable person. She should have her own business. She's an alchemist, you know, she's a manifester, you know, she's got a very soft feminine power that can never be abused. So she's not like an ego-based leader, because the 10s are leaders. She's more of a soft feminine energy that you know, is not ego-based. And the 10 is really connected to ancient Egypt past lives as well. So it's like the goddess Isis who gave birth to the sun. So she was the wife of Osiris, the god of the underworld, and the mother of Horus. So, you know, that energy is prevalent within her chart. We can also see that she's got a 9, 10, 17, 89, 23, 27, 37. So she's actually a ruling number 10 as well. So that amplifies the day number influence. So this is her bottle, really. You know, this gold, which is about authentic power and wisdom, and olive green, which is the soft feminine, like almost like fresh new spring rebirth energy. So that she's very adaptable, but she probably keeps a lot of her friendships a bit superficial, because she won't really want people to know what's going on for her emotionally.
Wow.
Ah, love you, Jolene.
Jolene channels amazing wisdom. Like, that's what she does. She channels and she works with people, and she's so giving and caring. And yeah, I can just really see her being an awesome businesswoman. Anyway, just put my 2 cents worth in.
Yeah.
Let's do Christina.
She should have her own business.
She should.
Yeah.
Let's do Christina. 31 05
31 05
1984.
1984. So what's her name again? Christina.
Well, Jolene's saying it's spot on. She really resonates with them, which I think she's saying the Hyadians.
I don't know how to say it. Hades, I call it.
The Hyadians. I call them the Hyadians. It could be anything, couldn't it? Yeah. It's 219584. Okay. Okay, so this is Christina's chart. So you can see each one is very different. What we can see with Christina's there is she's got this arrow that shoots across horizontally, diagonally. And that's called the arrow of determination. So she's like a dog with a bone, you know, so if she sets a goal for herself, she'll see it through to finality. She's got that as a positive strength within her personality blueprint. So it's almost like persistence, dogged determination, you know, to be able to get things done. This is good, you know. She also has the influence of the 8 and the 4. So she's very organized. You know, she likes to be in control. She likes the material and practical aspects of life and the physical aspects of life. She's also got a 3, and the 3 is the imagination, the memory, the left brain stuff. So this is like stimulation. It can be a bit critical when she's living negatively, but it can be inspired by imagination and memory as a stimulant when it's used positively. Now, she's got perfectly balanced communication skills. So she knows how she feels. She's a good listener as well as being a good talker. And she doesn't react. She's very responsive in her emotional dealings, which is a very good sign. She's a day number 4. So that's on the physical plane, the 4. And this is about, you know, it's a doing number. So she will like the physical, practical, material aspects of life. So she'll kind of like like having a nice car, nice house, all of that type of thing. She can be a bit of a hermit every now and again as well, but she's also got this 4 energy, which is, you know, that beautiful Uranus energy, which is about letting go of old structures in your life, or people, places, situations. So she will have to go through periods in her lifetime where she has to let go of everything to make way for the new emerging golden age, you know. So it's almost like she's kind of clearing the path for something new. We can also see that she's a 9, 10, 18, 9, 22, 27, 31. So, oh my God, so she's actually the same as her ruling number as well. So that's quite rare that you get 2 in a concession that have the same day number and ruling number. So it's that Uranus energy. And actually, when you look at the number 31 in the colour mirror system as well, it's this bottle here, which is called the Hermit, and it's pale green over green. So this is called the Hermit because it relates to the Hermit in traditional tarot. So she might find herself isolating to integrate heart-related healing. So yeah, so she might do that. But again, very practical. She'll like the material aspects of life. She likes space. Green in colour therapy is about space.
Wow.
Amazing read.
Interesting charts as well.
We have got Adam. And Adam.
Is he with Eve?
He should be.
Eve's upstairs. That's my daughter.
Oh, there you go. Adam and Eve. It's Adam and Steve in my community.
Adam and Steve. So Adam is 11/04/1980.
1980.
And Christina's saying, yes, you are so spot on. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Well, you see, colours and numbers don't lie. So it's language of light. So it never lies. So you can always rely on it. You know, I don't have to like really stretch my intuition. I just have to go on the science of numerology and the language of colour. So it can only be misinterpreted if the numerologist or colour therapist doesn't know what they're talking about, basically. But remember, like if these guys are interested in learning, because we're only doing little snippets based around their birth date, their date that their soul chose to incarnate on the planet. If they want something more elaborate, like the starseed numerology report, you know, it will look at their birth chart and their name chart and their peak years of maturity plus their starseed origins. So it's like a 15-page handcrafted report. Which, you know, it takes me about 5 to 7 business days to generate. So they're not computer generated. I sit there like Miss Marple. There you go. So Adam, okay, so Adam's got an interesting arrow here. This is a negative arrow in his personality blueprint. And this is like, it's called the arrow of the inquirer. So he can be quite skeptical. So he'd be one of those that'd be a bit like, oh, what is this shit? You know, and then he gets his own proof. And then it's like, oh, wow, you know, this really works, this numerology stuff. You know, it's kind of like one of those. Yeah. Can be a bit, you know, he'll have to go through his own process of investigation and research before he takes on board a concept that can't be scientifically proven. But, you know, he's quite practical. You know, he's quite fixed because he's got the 4 as his day number as well, which is that Uranus bottle again, which is, you know, the liking the material aspects. It is. Well, no, you're the 22/4, so it's a very different vibration. Oh, okay. Because yours carries the intuitive aspect of the 2, and it amplifies because there's 2 of them. This one is more like the bricks and mortar of the planet, you know. So this is more like, you know, the 4, if you think about it as a square, it's like a building block. So people with the day number 4 are often good with their hands. So he probably works in the manual arts or manual labor. You know, he'll like to, a lot of guys I find have a lot more 4s than women, you know, because they want to be out, you know, building houses and, you know, rowing boats or whatever else they do. Who knows what they get up to? They go fishing a lot, don't they? And moan. And drink too much grog. So yeah, so then sorry, he's got another 9 there. So again, he, you know, he's got the influence of the 9. Now the 9 is wisdom, idealism, responsibility, and ambition. So he is very ambitious, and he's actually, you know, of quite a wise old soul as well. He's got the 3 ones, but I would say in his case, he's a 9, 10, 19, 20, 21, 25, 7. So he's a ruling 7. I would say he'd be more of a more of a quiet 3-1 person, whereas you and I've got 3-1s as well, Ali.
Have you?
We're the gobshites, whereas he, you know, he's probably a bit more reserved, and he maybe only comes out of himself when he's got people he knows around him. But he likes to be in control. He's got a great sense of organization, and the 7 is his ruling number, which is, again, it's another number on the physical plane. So the 1, 4, and 7 are on the physical plane. So both of his main influences are on the physical plane. But the 7 is about exploring the deeper meaning behind life. You know, the subconscious mind, illusions, mysteries, magic, and faith. Yeah. So the 7 energy is someone who wants to learn through their own experiences, and often through sacrifice, but then he can teach that, whatever he learns, to other people, because the 7 is the spiritual teacher. It's Neptune in the color mirror system, which is pale turquoise over turquoise. So it's a beautiful energy that comes through with that. And it's actually to do with heart-related emotional healing. It's to do with the wisdom of the whales and dolphins, Atlantis. It's about faith as well, having faith. So I would say that, you know, for him, you know, learning through his own experience in a very practical and real way, he's probably slightly less you know, sort of pro numerology and, you know, anything that's kind of woo woo than the other 2 guests. A bit more of a boy.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So, and Adam, he made a comment. He said, overthinking and doubt is something I do struggle with. All of it resonated, and I love dolphins. Yeah.
Lovely.
Wow.
So this is the Colours magazine. So like this is a magazine that I write a numerology article in every quarter. So this was the copper one. So I've just completed the red one. So the red one's going to be available on Amazon as well. You can buy these on Amazon. Cool. And I do articles on colour numerology. So you can see there, this copper one was on David Attenborough. So it shows you how the colours and the numbers all link up together, you see. And it goes through, you know, how the colour mirrors are represented within somebody's date of birth. And then it decodes it, because famous celebrities and that, we all are aware of what they've done and who they are. So it's a confirmation again, you know, for people that we know and love so well, that this stuff works.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really fascinating to hear about other people and kind of how it all interacts with them and influences them.
So is that like so when we get, like, you know, our numerology report and we get our color mirrors, is that like our signature colors?
Yes, in a lot of ways. It doesn't go into it in as much detail as we do on level 3 color therapy and numerology. So it sort of, it gives you enough information, because otherwise it would be overwhelming. But there's so much more that's available other than what comes up in the report. The report just gives you your day number, your personal year cycle number, your complete name number, your ruling number, and your astrological color influences as well. So it gives you about 6 or 7 different influences. But when we really break it down, there's a whole lot more that we can glean more information about our soul blueprint as well. So it's quite complex, really, when you go into it.
Do you know what? Thank you for explaining that. Do you know what I think I would like to do is buy a bottle that is one of my signatures, to just kind of activate me and as a keepsake, so it's always there when I need to sort of connect into who I am. But then obviously buy one to use in the bath and what have you, for something that I need to work through in my soul growth and development.
That's a really good way to do it. And it's funny because, like, a lot of the bottles that I've bathed in have been my numbers. So the 9 bottle I did recently, and I've been waiting to do it, and it was just amazing. It was really, really incredible. It was more than I hoped it was going to be. But then you see, you get the 36 bottle as well. So this is this one here, which is the gateway. So this was one of the first bottles I bathed in. So 36 reduces to a 9, and the 36 is a magic number. So this is blue lilac energy. So this is like a gateway moving on to the next part of your life, or the next phase of your awareness.
So
Yep.
anybody could use that then if they're ready to level up and they want to go
Yes.
up a level.
Oh, well, I need that, and
Yeah, I want that too.
I've got a whole cocktail happening. There's about 5 I want. Can you have 5 in the bath at the same time?
No,
Well,
Liz.
don't do that. Like, I would say, like, pace them, because you don't want to have a, like, you don't want to implode on yourself.
Sensory
or spontaneously
overload.
burst.
You've got to be able to embody and integrate whatever comes up, or
Yes.
gets activated, because otherwise it's just going to disperse. It's like anything. You need to integrate, and you need to let time to fully embody and anchor in whatever
You're
comes
right.
up, I'd say, no matter
That's
what the
absolutely,
modality.
yeah, you're right. You see, you've got a natural understanding of, I think, of the mirrors. And I think that, you do, because, we don't want to give ourselves a brain hemorrhage, because there's plenty of time. I just wanted to mention the Wisdom of the Colour Mirrors book as well. Okay, so this is a book that's available as well on Amazon, which talks about
gosh, I've
all
got to
of the
get
different
that.
colour
Is
mirrors.
that is that what Melissa has written, the lady who invented it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Melissa Jolly and Karani Connolly. Now, she is another one of the main people within the colour mirrors, and she's in the UK, and they both write beautifully together. But
they're
it's
in the
fabulous
UK?
because they're in the UK. Yeah. Well, no, Karani lives in the UK, but Melissa is in South Africa. Yeah, and then you've got Moira Bush, who's in Canada and stuff like that. So the family is massive, and it's kind of like just trying to spread its light further around the globe.
Just like the starseed community, we're all spread out all over the place, aren't we?
So
Exactly.
can anyone do like a colour practitioner course?
Yeah. All you've got to do is a soul calling. Okay, so if you want to learn how to become a colour mirrors practitioner, it's it's not for just any like normal, like Joe Public on the street probably wouldn't ever inquire about it. So you get drawn to it because your soul wants you to learn this language, and then you'll just know. It's like when I first came across the bottles, I was like, I just knew that's what I had to do, and I figured out a way to make it happen. But yeah, other people won't even see it. Like, it's interesting because you can have the bottle set up at a psychic fair, and I've got these most beautiful kind of like clear perspex display units, have all the bottles set up, and you'll get one person walk past and come straight over and just be playing with them and inspired, and another person will just walk past and won't even see them. So it depends what frequency that you're on, I think, whether you engage with them or not. So that's why you can never force anybody into it, because your soul will just know, and it's only those people that tend to do it.
Yeah. And as far as your because you're very intuitive and you do channel through information for people, so when would you use that? There's certain times that you would follow these systems that have been made, like the color therapy and things, but when would you use your intuition to assist someone?
Well, I try to take myself out of the equation with regards to selecting bottles for anybody, because I've got to, like, it's all about empowering them to find their own remedies, really.
So is that more in the starseed stuff then, that you would use the guidance and the...
Well, the bottles really come in with extra layers of wisdom. It's not like I'm suggesting that they're the bottles that they should be bathing in, although it's a great place to start for people that are just so indecisive or just can't trust their intuition. It gives them a place to begin, which is better. It's a good place, because really we're looking at ways in which we can rebalance the birth chart. So say, for example, if there's no number 3 in someone's birth chart, and there's none in their name chart as well, then that's an area that needs development. Like, that's me. I don't have a 3 anywhere. So I know that yellow is a really good color for me as a stimulant for my memory. So because I've got that awareness, I can bring yellow in to help me with my
to balance out, because it's like a weakness. So you sort of this is just not there. So then
that's why I wear it a lot. I wear yellow a lot, because I had a really shit memory when I was at school, and I wasn't particularly academic. I was quite creative. So like, if I'd known that then, I would have used isopogon as well, the Australian bushflower, to help my memory. I would have used the sun bottle number 1 as a stimulant. So when you become aware of it, you can bring them in, and it really does help. It helps so much. I use the yellow angel a lot, and that's like a yellow a lemony sort of fragrance, Try not to use it at bedtime because it wakes you up. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't referring to I didn't make it clear. I wasn't referring to the color therapy, because I know that obviously there's a very much a system, and it's about empowering people through that modality, isn't it? But I know you're very intuitive as well, and obviously you get guidance come through, and I guess that's more the starseed type of thing that you do, and all of that knowledge.
It is, but I mean, it was funny because like I've always been like, when I was 16, I went to my first spiritual church, and I received a message in an open circle and had the confidence to deliver it, and I ended up getting a round of applause. And it was a bit like, where the hell did that information come from? So I always knew it was there, but then I shut it down for a while. I started reading cards again in my 20s, and then got scared of it, so shut it down for about another 5 years. But now, when I left corporate, I used to work in IT recruitment, and I did that for about 15 years. So it was very corporate. I did really well in the industry, but I hated it. And I left and I moved down south, and I started working at the Blue Buddha, which is like a spiritual shop in, it's got like a chain of stores in Perth and surrounding areas.
Oh, right.
Only on a Saturday, just reading cards. So I'd start by engaging people with numerology, so I could connect with them. And then I would start channeling information, people, that maybe were in their lives that had crossed. So I do that, but I find that I get quite tired when I connect to spirit and receive information, but I get names. I could be just talking to someone, and all of a sudden like a name would come in, like, oh, there's an Andrea around, and she's blah, blah, blah. And then the rest of the message comes through. So it's like, it's all there, but I choose not to tap into it as readily, because I find it quite tiring.
Yeah, I can resonate with that. Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Now we might have to start wrapping up, but I'm just going to ask one question on behalf of one viewer, Jolene. She's saying, I'm curious what you know about angelics.
Okay, so I mean, I guess a fair amount. I mean, I'm aware of Elohim, the Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Sandalphon. I mean, we work with the angelic realm within the color mirror system, because there are some of the essence sprays are related to the archangels. So we've got an Archangel Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, Uriel.
Beautiful.
We've got Yeshua, Zadkiel, so we can bring in the energies of them. So I'm aware of who they are and what they do, but overriding the whole of the color mirror system is it's Melchizedek. So it's the wisdom goes back to the Melchizedek Elohim Grail line. So the Elohim are the highest and brightest angels and guides, and that are us, and we are them.
Right now. Sorry, carry on.
You're getting activated.
Yeah, I can feel all the downloads coming in, because I am Blu-ray.
That's it. I mean, this is why you've been attracted to this. I mean, there's a bottle that's called Gaia and the Elohim in the color mirrors. There's one called Elohim. So it's absolutely aligns beautifully to not only like the violet flame, but the Blu-ray stuff, and all of the Galactic Federation of Light as well, which they're all interconnected anyway.
Yeah. I've got to say,
could you hold up those bottles before we completely wrap up, like the Elohim one?
And they are so activating. I was going to say, you know what attracted me to all of this, Hayden? The whole Atlantean.
Which one's that?
Side.
That is Elohim. And it's, you know what? It's funny, Liz, that is actually what attracts most people to the color mirrors. It's like past life recall from Atlantis, and that one is Gaia and the Elohim. So Gaia is copper and Elohim is clear, but in this bottle it's the platinum and platinum and pale gold.
That is so activating. I'm really getting activated by that blue and platinum one.
Yeah, the blue one so much.
Yeah, it's incredible. You see, blue lilac or platinum energy, again, it puts you into the future. So both platinum and pale gold, they are futuristic vibrations, but it's also connected to ancient Egypt as well. The sun gods, gold and yellow, and that they're all connected to the sun gods.
The sun gods, because I've got a very much solar connection as well. So you're making so much sense. Oh, I could listen to you and chat to you all day.
So Atlantean, so the Atlantis colors, would that be also the blue platinum?
Okay, so it's really no, it's more turquoise. So like this is the bottle which is called the Whale, which is turquoise over blue,
Beautiful.
and it's bottle 34. So that's the wisdom of the whales and dolphins. Often means difficulties are coming to an end. You've got bottle number 7, which is Neptune, which was the king of Atlantis, the Poseidon. You know,
Yep.
Neptune is
wow.
very Atlantean. And then you've also got like these bottles, which are the silver Gaias. So anything with the turquoise fragment,
It's
and there's
all
more turquoise
blue.
bottles within.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've got the Children of the Light, G29,
Oh,
okay, which reduces to the
beautiful.
11, and then New Dawn as well, which is
Oh,
pale turquoise over silver. So these ones are they're
wow.
part of the silver Gaias, and actually they were introduced a lot later into the system than the other bottles, and they didn't reveal themselves fully at first, what they were actually here to do, but they're connected to the silver spheres, you know, so they bring in
My favorite color
high
is silver.
wisdom.
Yeah, and you've got everyone sees silver in your.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone
Oh
sees
my
silver
gosh.
when they talk to me. That's amazing. There
Huh.
you go. Oh, well, I'm definitely having a
More to choose from now.
calling and just excitement about this whole color therapy thing. I can just really see how it could integrate nicely with my Reiki healing.
Well, you're like the perfect person to work with the color mirrors as well, because of your Atlantean soul connection. So it's like nothing happens by default, you know, that it's serendipity.
It's so true.
So yeah, just so when you feel the calling, get involved when you've got some
honor
time.
it. You definitely got to honor
and
it.
there's certain levels that you can start then at level 1 and just work your way through. Is that right, or is that something else?
I think it's a 6-month online.
It is. It's a 6-month online course. So it's actually we do fortnightly Zoom consults together, so I can track your progress and know that you're learning properly. And because it's almost like a journey of personal awakening that takes place as you go through the 19 colors. So there's 31 modules within the course. There's video tutorials, home play sheets. There's a manual as well, which is there to support your learning too. So it's a very intensive but very well produced online program, which you end up connecting to 26 of the color mirrors, because you have to have each of the colors within the mini set that you get. So once that's in place, you can then start unlocking the modules and connecting, because you're going to be doing all sorts of inner work, guided meditations, putting bottles on your body, feeling into the colors. So you actually don't just intellectualize it, you embody it.
You embody it. Yeah, that is just awesome. I think we better wrap up. This was fantastic, Hayden. It was great. I'm sure all our viewers had an awesome time. Those readings were magnificent. We can't thank you more than enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I've loved it too.
Good. Come back.
And definitely, you know, website. You've got a website, YouTube channel, FB page. Have I mentioned them all? Blog.
In the magazine. He's in the magazine doing columns in there. And your YouTube, you're always keeping people updated about current energies, colors they can work with.
I've worked with numerologist.com, which is the world's largest numerology website for the past 4 years. So I've been creating content for them. So now I do Starseed Oracle Insights twice a month.
That's right.
So like this month, we're working a lot with Lyran energy, which is red. Because obviously we were in Aries, and that's red as well. So we really had to take physical action this month. That's what the Lyrans were getting us to do, because they govern the base chakra. And you know, because all the Lyrans, they love, you know, at sports and, you know, adventure and getting into the, you know, the nitty gritty and physical aspects of life. So but there's also heaps of Starseed videos that I've done for them, and personal development ones too. So I've kind of aligned with the people in the industry that are, you know, sort of pioneers, and they you know, they're the right channels for me to be able to have the right content for their consumers.
Yeah. So you do different things. You've got the numerology, you've got the Starseed, obviously you've got the color therapy. So, you know, whatever someone's interested in, there's content.
And an amazing spiritual teacher.
Yeah, amazing teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just love it. Thank you. I know you've got to go, and I know that we're past the hour, and
Thank you so much.
we can't thank you more than enough. Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.
And